Good noon, all of you. I welcome you all to this session, Grammar Capsule. Okay, so this is the series that we are going to run now, wherein we'll deal with different parts of speech, different grammar concepts in each session. So today is meant for nouns, right? So we begin this series today, Nouns Made Easy, and with the session Nouns Made Easy, the series name is Grammar Capsule. This is relevant for all your CAT and non-CAT exams, right? All your non-CAT exams, be it MAHCT, be it let's say a SNAP, an NMAT, an IFT, a ZAT, all the non-CAT exams because they do ask you grammar questions, right? Good afternoon, the Wish Sailor, Satish, Kinjal, Dharmi. Good afternoon, Prem. Hello, Anuja. Hello, sweetie. Right. So good to see some familiar names here. Right. So nouns. Before, let's say, I launch into questions, first of all, tell me what all types of nouns you are aware of. Yes. What all types of nouns exist? I think all of us know the definition of nouns. That does not need to be told here. Yes. Hello, Dhanshri. So, remember the game name, place, animal thing that we used to play as children? So, at that time, probably we didn't realize, but that was a very clever way to teach us nouns. Okay. So, a noun is the name of a person or a place, right? An animal, a thing. That is what a noun is. Good noon, Vineet, Prateek, Sonali, perfect cuts. So, what are the various types of nouns that exist? Okay. What are these, Kinjal? Proper, common, collective, abstract, right? So I think you must have had a flashback of your junior classes as you wrote this, that there are these four types of basic nouns that are there, right? Common nouns, the names that are commonly shared by various things or people. For instance, every wooden structure with these four legs shares the name table. So that's why table is a common noun, right? Every, let's say, iron or steel structure that gives out water shares the name tap. So that's why tap is a common noun. Proper nouns. When we give the name, when we talk about names that are unique in their own right, so I understand that let's say there must be more Nikitas, right? It's not like I'm the only Nikita out there. But the name was not intended to be common. It was not intended to be shared based on certain characteristics. Right? So this is a confusion that students have, that because our names can also be shared by other people, why aren't they common nouns? Because while all the tables in this world share certain characteristics, all the Sanskritis, all the Rajivs, all the Kinjals might not share those characteristics, right? That's why these are proper nouns. Okay. Then collective noun. Yes. What is a collective noun? We are going to see some questions also on collective noun today, some questions on abstract noun today, right? So these are very relevant for you from an examination perspective. Good to see you too, Rajiv. Uh, hello, Ashish. Right. So collective nouns. Now, collectively, basically, I am naming a collection. That is a collective noun, right? Let's see an example through a question here. Okay. I'm just coming to this question for the sake of explaining collective nouns. We'll continue our discussion after this. Yes. So this is your question one. The committee dash decided to shut down the school. First of all, what should come here? Okay, tell me. What should come in this question? What should be the answer? Collective noun names a group. Correct, Tulshi. The committee dash decided to shut down the school. Ajay says A. Kinjal also says A. Sonali says A. All right. Good, good, good. I think all of you are saying A. No, Rajiv says have. Sanskriti also says have. Hello, hello, Vijay. Right. Let's see. So, committee here is the name of a group. Can I say that? Committee is the name of a group. It's a group of people that, let's say, come together for a specific purpose, right? It could be a parliamentary committee, it could be a committee of treasurers, let's say, it could be a committee set up for a specific purpose, for an investigation committee. So it's the name of a group, committee. And that is why this is a collective noun. So committee, council, these are all collective nouns, right? A bunch of keys, bunch is a collective noun. Then a jury, a team, collective nouns. I think you know these, pretty common collective nouns. Now, the committee dash. So because it is one committee, right? It is one group. I understand that this group has multiple members, but how many groups are there? It's just one group. And because it's just one group, this should take a singular verb. One group, that means it's singular. It should take a singular verb. So it should be has and not have. A is the answer. Okay. But my question is it always the case? Is a collective noun always singular? There are certain circumstances when the collective noun is not singular. Okay, what are those circumstances? Let's say there is a jury, but some judges believe that the person standing in front of them is guilty and should be punished. Some judges believe that no, it should this person should not be punished, right? In India the jury is of judges, right? In the US basically it's of various common citizens. So the judges, half of the judges, let's say, believe that this person should be sentenced, half believe that the person should not be sentenced. So now is the group acting as one whole, acting as one group? It's not, right? We can clearly see different members going in different directions. So when a group is not acting as a group, not acting as a group, right? Either because there is some disagreement, or sometimes we simply want to focus on the individual members of the group. Sometimes we simply want to focus on the individual members of the group. In that case, we will use the plural verb. In that case, this will act as a plural noun, right? So the committee do not see eye to eye on this matter. When you do not see eye to eye on some matter, that means you don't agree with the other person. The committee are at sixes and sevens on this matter. That means again there is some sort of disagreement. Sixes and sevens, a disagreement. Okay, a mess. So the committee are at sixes and sevens on this matter. So when there is disagreement, when the focus is on individual members, then the collective noun is plural. Otherwise, in most of the cases, it is singular. Okay. So I think we have done this rule earlier as well in some of our sessions. Those who prepared for CMAT with me, they would know this, right? So let's see another question. After that, I'll talk to you about abstract nouns. Okay. So the second question here, tell me what the answer should be. Mhm. I'll go back to that question, Tulshi. Right now, answer this. Then we'll go back to that one. The Parliament dash been summoned for an emergency session. Okay, A, B, A. All right. Most of you so far are saying A. A very good afternoon, Vishal. A. Have is B. Okay. All right, all right. Now, again, the parliament is a collective noun. Parliament here, because it's a parliament is also a collection of members, right? A member of the parliament, right? An MP is a member of the parliament. The legislative assembly is also a collective noun, right? So the parliament, now all the members would be summoned, right? The parliament has been summoned as one whole group, and not separately. Let's say that some members have been summoned, some haven't been, right? Or let's say there is some disagreement, so only those who agree on a particular matter have been summoned. That's not the case. The parliament as a group has been summoned because it's acting as one whole. It will still be has. Just because I explained the exception to you in the last question does not mean that we'll have a question with an exception next, right? So the parliament has been summoned and not have. Okay, so has here. Now, Tulshi asked something about the number of people in the committee. See, the number of people in the committee does not really make a difference. The fact is that the committee as a group made this decision to shut down the school, right? It was a collective decision. And that is why this has to be singular. The number of members do not make a difference, right? Okay, so you just told me that there are four types of nouns, majorly proper, common, collective. We've discussed collective. Next is abstract, abstract noun. Yes. So what are abstract nouns? Yes. Thank you, Dhanshri. I'm doing good, Vishal. I hope the same for you. So, abstract. Rajya Sabha, Lok Sabha. Yes, yes, absolutely, Sonali. It's just Hindi for committee only. A Sabha is a committee. Okay. I'm not sure. But yes, Sabha again represents a collection, a gathering. Yes. So, Modi Sarkar 2024 is saying that abstract nouns are the names of emotions. They are the names of feelings, emotions, right? Basically, those things that cannot be seen, heard, tasted, smelt, or touched. Those things that you cannot perceive through your five senses, right? Like ideas. For instance, patriotism is an idea, jingoism is also an idea, right? Qualities, kindness, cruelty, right? So, these things, these states, for instance, stupidity, okay, appetite, hunger, these states also, hunger is a state. You could also call it, it's more of a state than a feeling, right? So feelings, emotions, ideas, qualities, states, etc. Naming them, when we name them, the name is called the abstract noun. I'm again and again focusing on this. I'll tell you why when we come to some questions on abstract nouns. So this is one categorization, proper, common, collective, and abstract. There is another categorization of countable and uncountable nouns. We will again see it through our questions. Okay, so let's learn more through questions. Right. Coming to the third question here. Yes, correct, all of you. Quality, state, feeling, emotion, something that's intangible, something that you can just feel, right? So, coming to the third question, tell me what should be the answer. The new laboratory has the latest dash. Okay. A, B, okay. All right. So through this question, the concept that I wanted to highlight is that there are, certain nouns, when they take a plural, they actually change to an S, right? We add an S after them. However, that's not the case with all the nouns. So you should be aware of those nouns wherein the plural is the same as singular, right? So here, equipment is one such noun where the plural is the same as singular. It's equipment. Okay, not equipments, because equipment refers to everything, right? All your machines out there, let's say, or all the tools out there are called equipment. So it is not going to take an S, right? B is the answer here and not A. So you should be aware of these nouns wherein the plural is the same as the singular. And again, what do I recommend for it? I recommend reading the chapter on nouns from Renan Martin or Raymond Murphy. These things are mentioned there, right? Okay. And now you don't even have that excuse that we don't have time, right? MNCT has been postponed. You have sheer amount of time, right, to actually complete your grammar books as well. Okay. Question 4. This shop sells only teak dash. Okay. All right. Yes, Kinjal, equipments is wrong. It is equipment only. A, C, all right, A, D. So, again, have you, I think you might not even have heard of something like furnitures, right? There is nothing called furnitures. Again, the plural of furniture is furniture only because, again, furniture refers to all these wooden pieces that you have that you use, let's say, for sitting, for eating. All these collectively are your furniture, right? So, furniture is furniture only. There is nothing like furnitures. Hope this is clear. So, your job now is, your homework now is to read about more such nouns. Okay. Question 5. Yes, correct, Shailesh. Furniture is furniture only. I could see many dash grazing in the field. See, the rule is very simple actually. If let's say you think a little logically about this, no. How do you realize whether I can put an S, whether something has a plural or not? How do we realize that? How do you judge that, gauge that? In many cases, I'm not saying that this is a foolproof approach that I'm teaching you. In many cases, what you can do is just directly put the number, let's say 1, 2, 3 before the noun. Have you ever seen someone saying two furnitures, two furnitures, three furnitures? Similarly, if you have heard someone saying two equipments, they are wrong. It should be two pieces of equipment, two pieces of equipment. That is correct. So equipment, furniture, they are not countable. This is how we decide whether a noun is countable or uncountable. If a noun is countable, you can directly put a number before it. But here I am not able to do it, and that is why it is uncountable, and that is why it does not have a plural. Right? Same goes for equipment. Okay. Now, fourth answer was A, option A. Okay. What if I'm talking about different types of swords that I have with me right now? So then you will say different pieces of equipment. Okay. You will say different pieces of equipment. And the better term would be weaponry. Weaponry. These are your weapons, right? So pieces of weaponry or different weapons in case there are different types of swords. Right? Okay. Question 5. I could see many dash grazing in the field. Okay, so Sanskriti, there is no exhaustive list that I also have. Again, I have also gathered this from various grammar books. Okay, so what I can do is, let's say in our Telegram channel, the MBA Doubts channel, I can share those pages of Ren and Martin which talk about this singular plural thing. That can be done. A, C, E, all right. What else? C, okay. Not the last one, option E. Nobody's saying that. Okay. So sheep is again one such noun whose plural. Now see here the plural exists. There we said that okay they are uncountable. हम count ही नहीं कर सकते हैं, right? Equipment collectively because हम आपकी सारी equipment सारे pieces of उसको कह रहे हैं तो इसलिए हम count नहीं कर सकते हैं. Similarly furniture, all the pieces of wood or all the pieces that you use for let's say various purposes in your domestic life, let's say for eating, for sitting, etc. Collectively they are called furniture. Here I can very well count the sheep, right? एक दो तीन I can do that 1 2 3 isn't it, but sheep is such a noun which by its construction itself has the same plural sheep. तो sheep का plural sheep ही है, sheep का plural sheep ही है, right? It's not sheeps. Okay. Cattle similarly the plural of cattle is cattle itself, because what is cattle? Yes, what is cattle? किसको बोलते हैं cattle? Tell me, is it one animal that is called cattle? One particular animal type? Animal, just animal? All these animals that are, domesticated for their meat, for their milk, collectively, all of them are called cattle. Okay, so cattle is not one animal as such. So cattle by its very construction, by its very meaning, it's plural. Right? Yes, correct, Shailesh. Cattle is a collective noun. Correct, correct. Okay. Prem, both are good actually. There is no competition between the two, right? Uh, Personally, I find Ren and Martin to be a little more approachable, accessible in the sense that it's good for even the weakest student out there. That's what I feel. Okay. Good question, Praveen. Good question. So in sports, okay, so let me just finish this, then I'll answer your question. Okay, so cattle, sheep, and because there is this option sheep here, so C is going to be our answer. Ox, what is the plural of ox? Ox has a plural. What is the plural? Oxen. Okay, oxen is the plural. The plural of ox is oxen, not oxes, and therefore eliminated. Now, a very interesting question has been asked by Praveen. He says that why is it that we say India have won the toss? It's one country, right? So why am I saying India have won the toss? In sports particularly, okay, when we name a team, the name of a team is considered plural. Is considered plural. So when they say India, they are not talking about the country. They basically mean the Indian team. So they are naming the team, okay, India. And because the names of teams in the world of sports are considered plural, that's why we say India have won the toss or India have won the match. Right? This is applicable for music bands also. Music bands as well. Okay, it's applicable for them also, that we use the plural verb after them. We consider them as plural nouns. So names of teams, music bands, they are names of music bands, they are considered plural. Good question. Okay, so C is the answer here for this one. Now, very good, all of you have said oxen. Different, let's say there are different kinds of cattle groups can be called cattles. No, they would still be cattle only, no. What different kinds do you mean? So, for instance, if you mean that, okay, one group is of cows, one group is of, let's say, oxen, that's what you mean. Or one group is of sheep, perhaps that's the idea. But then also collectively they'll be called cattle only, not cattles. Right? I absolutely agree with you, Kinjal. India is one team, so ideally it should be singular. But in the world of sports, this is the nomenclature. This is the convention in the world of sports that the name of a team is considered plural. Right? It's an exceptional case. C, D, A, B. All right, I've got all the options here except E. Okay, okay. Okay, good that nobody has said E. So I need a verb here, and the verb definitely doesn't have to be being, right? Shouldn't be being. Is or are is what is needed. Now, see, tell me something. If I just have one blade of the scissors, is it of any use to me? If I just have one blade, I have lost the other. Unless, let's say, I am into the business of harming people, right? Then probably even one blade will be helpful. But one blade of scissors does not really have an identity of its own. There are so many such things, not just scissors. Things like goggles or spectacles, right? One, let's say, lens is not really of much use to me. Then it does not have an identity of its own. Jeans, pants, shorts, okay, and all the related variants. Binoculars, tongs, yes, and many, many more such things that have an identity when they are in a pair, right? So, scissors, pants, spectacles, shorts, all of these are always plural. So, I've seen a lot of students saying, I have a jeans. Wrong. Jeans is plural. So, you will not use a before it. Or, my jeans has faded. Wrong. Again, jeans is plural. My jeans have faded, not has faded. The scissors are very sharp. The scissors are very sharp. Always plural. Okay. The only circumstance when you will call it singular is when you talk like this, when you say this. A pair of scissors, a pair of scissors. Now, because you've added a pair of scissors is no longer the subject is a one pair. So, a pair of scissors is missing. A pair of scissors is missing. The interesting thing is when I say a pair of scissors, that does not mean two scissors, it means one only. Okay, so language can be interesting that way. When I say a pair of scissors, एक ही scissors की हम बात कर रहे हैं, एक ही कैंची की हम बात कर रहे हैं, right? That's my humble attempt to draw scissors. Okay. When we refer to the species, then we okay. Anshul is talking about fish. Let's discuss fish also for a while. See this. I'm not deleting this. I'm trying to keep as much information as I can. So, in general, you and I, when we talk, the plural of fish is fish only. The plural of fish is fish only. So, if let's say you saw one fish, one orange color fish, right? If you saw many orange color fish, then you'll say fish only for them also, right? However, when usually people who study fish, ichthyologists, they're called ichthyologists. Theologists, I hope I'm spelling this correctly. Right. So people who study fish, they're called ichthyologists. Ichthus is the Greek root for fish. Because when they talk about the plural, they usually refer to different species of fish. Right, different species. So same species में तो plural fish ही रहेगा. But अगर मैं different species की बात करने लग जाऊं, let's say I'm talking about dolphins, sharks and whales. In that case, the plural now becomes fishes because it comprises of three separate groups. It comprises three separate groups: whales, dolphin and shark. So if let's say you're talking about different species, then fishes. Otherwise, in most of the cases, it is fish only. Right? So this logic works for quite a few nouns. For instance, bread. Bread. It's an uncountable noun. Okay, we should not say two breads, three breads. It's three loaves of bread, four loaves of bread. तो इसलिए bread का भी कोई plural as such नहीं होता है, right? आप multiple loaves की बात करेंगे. You will talk about 5 loaves, 6 loaves, 7 loaves, right? You can't talk about breads as such. But then I visited a restaurant and on the menu I saw assorted breads. So I wondered that okay, assorted breads कैसे हो गया suddenly? Okay, and beneath there were options like naan, kulcha, paratha, etc. So that's when I realized that this logic of fish works for bread also. If you're talking about different types, of bread, in that case you can use breads, and that is why the menu said assorted breads, right? So that's how it works. Now, Trousers also, yes, Sanskriti. Dhanshri is asking. Okay, no, I don't have a literature background. I have done BCom honors from SRCC and then MCom from Delhi School of Economics. Right. Question 7. Suma lives in a dash hostel near her college. Suma lives in a dash hostel near her college. Let's see what you say. Okay. So Praveen says D. Vishal says A. Okay. B, C, D. All right, all right. Uh, okay, so we have a question here. What about different species of cattle? See, cattle is a collective noun. Fish is not a collective noun, right? So that's why we are discussing the concept of fishes. When I say cattle, it's a collective noun that covers everything that you call cattle out there in itself, right? So, if you're talking about different species, you would refer to them as such that okay, these are cenepoles, these are balancers. Okay, you will not say these are cattles. Okay, so don't get confused between, let's say, a common noun which is fish and a collective noun which is cattle. Okay, all right. D, A, B, C. I have got everything here. Now, see, girl, it's not just one girl, first of all. Also, girls' car hostel, right? That's what I mean to say. So, A is very easily eliminated. I think nobody should have marked this. Similarly, C, it's not one girl's hostel, right? Girl apostrophe S means one girl car. Okay, belonging to one girl. So, again, eliminated. So, A and C easily eliminated. The choice is between B and D. Should it be girls hostel or should it be girls apostrophe S? Okay, so I was confused in this concept initially when, let's say, I began my career. I would wonder that it's the name of a hostel. So why do I have to use an apostrophe here? But then I thought about the fact that we say men's hostel. We don't say men hostel. We say women's hostel. We don't say women hostel, right? So in the names also we are putting apostrophe. So apostrophes are required here, and that is why even B is not the answer. So I hope this makes sense to you now. Girls hostel, a hostel belonging to girls. Girls apostrophe. Girls apostrophe, right? Because men's hostel, not men hostel, women's hostel, right? Ownership. Yes, the concept of ownership, possession comes into picture the moment we talk about apostrophes. Right? I hope this makes sense to everyone. If there's any query, ask me. Apostrophes, whenever there is a common noun and the plural of that common noun has an S. The plural of that common noun has an S. So with the singular, the case is very clear. Girl, then apostrophe and S. But because in a common nouns plural, S is already there. So imagine if I say girls is hostel, that will be very tedious to pronounce. That is why this S is deleted. It is girls and simply just apostrophe. No S after it. Right? So D is our answer here. Okay. The dash is dirty and needs to be cleaned. An interesting concept. The dash is dirty and needs to be cleaned. I think there are a couple of options that you can delete easily, eliminate easily. Anuja says D. Kinjal says A. Okay. D, A. All right, all right. C. Fan's blade. C says fan's blade. Fans, plural, and then an apostrophe, and then blade. Does that make logical sense? If there are multiple fans, they cannot have one blade, isn't it? So this can be eliminated, right? Fans, when I say fans and just an apostrophe, that means I'm talking about multiple fans. Multiple fans are going to have multiple blades. They can't have one blade. So eliminated. And when I say is dirty, that means it's one blade that is dirty. Most probably it will belong to just one fan, right? I cannot say blades because we have is here. So even this is eliminated, right? Fan's blade. B can be eliminated easily because fan ka blade. That is the idea. The blade belonging to the fan. So actually, and this is what happened. I expected most of the students to be confused between A and D. Right. So I've got a lot of A's and D's here, like quite a few A's in fact. Now here's a concept that's actually not something that you come across until you read a grammar book, right? So with non-living things, we just talked about living things here. When we talked about girls, we talked about living things, men's, women's, girls, right? What happens with non-living things? So it's an old grammar rule that says that see non-living things technically can't own other things. The concept of ownership applies to living things as per this old grammar rule. So because non-living things can't technically own things, I cannot say fan car blade because the fan does not own it, right? So I should say the blade of the fan and not the fan's blade. Very nuanced concept. I should say the blade of the fan and not the fan's blade, right? So D is going to be the answer. Similarly, the leg of the table, the leg of the table, not the table's leg, the leg of the table, not the table's leg. The stand of the mobile, not the mobile stand. Okay, a lot of us don't really follow this rule in our informal colloquial conversations, right? But standard British English says that non-living things can't own other things, right? Hence, D dead. I hope this makes sense. Yes, yes. A new concept for you. So I hope you've been liking the session so far. If yes, you know what to do. You have to just go and press the like button. And I do see your comments. So I got some comments recently about taking up critical reasoning, synonyms, antonyms. So I have informed our team, right? We will have sessions related to those. So do comment anything that you feel that we should cover, any queries that you have after, let's say, watching the session. And yes, you can share it with your friends. And if you subscribe, that will take away half your attention regarding when a particular session is, right? So I think you already know the answer to this question now. We have discussed it. Tell me what the answer should be. This is question number 9. Okay. So Tulji is asking whether we get these kinds of questions in the CAT exam. See, CAT does not ask you direct grammar questions. Okay. Why is this relevant for CAT? This is relevant because you're going to get RC passages, you're going to get parajumbles, para summary, which will involve a lot of reading. Okay. So if let's say we are very well versed with our grammar concepts, that makes for a smoother reading experience. Okay. That makes us understand things more quickly. Plus, it is very beneficial when you write your own essays at the WAT, the stage 2 writing ability test. So that is why this is relevant for CAT exam. Okay, but in non-CAT exams, yes, such questions are definitely asked. Okay, D, all right. Okay, earphones, yes, they take a plural verb Sanskriti. They take a plural verb earphones, right? What if we are trying to personify? A very interesting question. In that case, Prem, we can use the apostrophe S, right? Death's cold hand, right? So when we say death's cold hand, death ka cold hand, I have personified death there, right? D, E. Okay. So, women's. Can A be the answer? Women's. What is the plural of women? A woman. Sorry. What is the plural of woman? It is women, right? Women is the plural. So now, see this, I told you that I am talking about common nouns whose plural ends with an S. Common nouns whose plural ends with an S, for them, in order to avoid that hissing sounds, S's, right? We just put the apostrophe like this. But what about those plural nouns that do not have an S? For instance, child, the plural is children. So in that case, you will say apostrophe S only. ये बस pronunciation में ease के लिए है, that you're not putting an S here. Children apostrophe S, children's. Okay. Similarly, women does not end with an S, apostrophe S, women's. So it will be women's hostel. Okay. If you are writing this, that means you believe that the plural of woman is women's, which is wrong. Right? The plural is just women. I hope this is clear. D is the answer. Good. Quite a few of you said D. Good. All right. Okay. Now, coming to some... Okay, so first do this question, then I'll tell you the concept involved here. His dash bore fruit and he got a promotion with a raise. Let's see what bore fruit for him. His dash bore fruit and he got a promotion with a raise. Okay. All right. So why has this question been included? It's an easy question, right? The idea is that sometimes students get confused. For instance, she is dash, she possesses dash, right? So now your options are intelligent and intelligence, right? What will you write in the first blank and what will you write in the second blank? Tell me. Yes. She is dash, she possesses dash. Okay, so Nali and Sanskriti, correct. She is intelligent. She is intelligent. Okay. What about the second blank? She possesses dash. She possesses dash. She possesses intelligence. She possesses intelligence. Right. So sometimes students get confused between abstract nouns and adjectives. That happens with some students. So they might write she is intelligence or they might write she possesses intelligent. No. When I describe you, I use the adjective. But when I say she possesses what? You are answering the question what, right? And you are naming the quality that she possesses. You're naming it. You're answering the question what? So I need a noun here, which is intelligence. Right? So the answers that I've got for this blank for question 10 are B, B, then C, mostly B's, a couple of A's also I've got. So here B is the answer, absolutely correct. Most of you are correct. A, no, his honest bore fruit. He is honest, but what is the quality that he has? His honesty, right? So B. His diligent, no. Diligence, if there were an option diligence, then yes, we could have considered it. Diligence. His diligence bore fruit. Diligence is your hard work. His hard work bore fruit. His truthfulness bore fruit. Right? These are the words that would fit in this blank. I need a noun, not adjectives. Okay. So easy question, this one. Now, a common confusable question. Let's see what you say. Common confusables. Let's see. B also sounds good, okay. We'll see. Okay, so why not hard working? His hard work. See, we are trying to answer the question what? You could say his hard working nature. That would be fine. Okay, his hard work or his hard working nature. But when I'm trying to answer the question what? Right? I cannot use an adjective there. He is hardworking. That is his quality. That's the adjective. He is hardworking. What kind of a person he is? Hardworking. What does he do? Hard work. Right? So I needed the answer to this what. That's why hardworking does not fit. Okay, I've got multiple responses for this one. C, okay, A. So basically C and A. That's what I've got. Let's understand this. So here, affect versus effect. That is the common confusable. Now, in most of the cases, affect is a verb and effect is a noun. So the noun verb confusion is what we are dealing with here, right? His captaincy had a tremendous dash on the team's morale. Tell me, do I need a verb here or a noun? And that will answer the question. His captaincy had what? His captaincy had what on the team's morale? His captaincy had what on the team morale? On the team's morale? It had an effect. It had a tremendous effect on the team's morale. Or I could say his captaincy, let's say, dash the team's morale. If let's say this were the question, his captaincy dashed the team's morale, then what would you say? Affected or affected? Affected or affected? Let's see what you say. Effect is a noun, correct? Everybody. What should I put in the second blank? Affected or affected? Here, very good, Yogesh. Here I should put affected because I need a verb now. I need a verb now. Okay, his captaincy affected. See what you say affects me also when we say this. What you say affects me. Verb. Then I'll not say affects me. Right? Effect. More in most of the cases it's a noun. Affect in most of the cases it's a verb. I needed a noun here. So that's why had a tremendous effect. Right? Affectation. Affectations. There are people who possess these fake qualities. They pretend in front of other people, right? They have these fake gestures. That is what is called an affectation. Okay, all that politeness is merely an affectation behind the hatred that he possesses. Let's say, right? So affectation, those fake gestures, etc., that you make in front of other people. Impactful can't come here. I'm not looking for an adjective, so eliminated anyway. ठीक है? Good, good, good. I think all of you have got this concept, effect and affected. Now, the last concept for the day. There are two questions based on this concept. Let's see what you say for this. Question 12. Yes. The students could attempt dash questions than I had expected. One more thing that I wish to clarify Yesterday we did this question. I have already completed the task yesterday well before the deadline. This was an error spotting question. So I was thinking about it after the class, and one of the students suggested that why not simply just delete the yesterday and keep the rest as it is. In that case, in that case, if I do this, this is a time point. This is a time point. Okay, well before the deadline, I'm giving the point when I completed it. So when you have a specific time reference, then you cannot use the perfect tense. Then you should say, I completed it. I completed it well before the deadline. Okay. I already completed it. I completed it. In fact, this already also appears redundant. I completed it, the task, well before the deadline. Okay. So just deleting yesterday won't do. You'll have to delete this have already also. Right? So I hope this is clear to you. We could not let it remain in the perfect tense. The error was in part A only. The error was in this part only. I have already completed. Right? Most of you had marked A only yesterday. Okay. Now coming to BDE. All right. So questions. Now comes the concept of countable and uncountable. So I just told you in one of the previous slides that when you can straight away put a number before something, that means it's a countable noun. One question, two questions, right? Three questions. I can directly put a number. This is a countable noun. With countable nouns, we do not use less or lesser for that matter. Okay, with countable nouns, we do not use little, less, least, not even lesser. This group of adjectives is reserved for uncountable nouns. Uncountable nouns. Right? So here you cannot use less and lesser, and this is a comparison. When there is a comparison happening, we use the comparative degree of adjective. Comparative degree. So fewer, fewer. So the students could attempt fewer questions than I had expected. Okay, not B, not C. Comparative. Yes, correct, Sonali, correct. Okay, the comparative degree of few will be used, fewer. All right. Now, how about this? The last question. Again, we have few, less, lesser. Let's see what you mark. Fewer, least, etc. Last question for the day. I don't understand the new carpenter's logic. She charges more for dash work. Okay. All right. All right. A is what you say. So work again. I think in your mind do this. Can I say two works, three works? I have given her three works to do. For task, I can say this three tasks to do, but not for work. Work is uncountable. So you can't use few, fewer here. Now, there is a comparison happening. So, little is the positive degree of the adjective, less is the comparative, and least is the superlative. I have little milk in my glass. I have less milk than my brother has. I have the least milk out of all of us siblings, right? So, uh, little less the least. So, here the comparative degree, which is less, will be used. Okay. Why not lesser? Some of you must be wondering, do we even use lesser? Yes, we do use lesser, but when we compare quality, that is when we use lesser. Here we are comparing quantity. So in a quantity comparison, which is the case most of the time, we use less. Quality, how can I compare quality? For instance, we say the lesser mortals, lesser mortals. She chose the lesser of the two evils. She chose the lesser of the two evils. That means both the options that she had were hard, difficult. She chose the lesser of the two evils. So we are comparing their intensity of difficulty, right? So she chose the lesser of the two evils. We are comparing a quality here, difficulty. Lesser mortals. Usually underprivileged people can be called lesser mortals. People who lack something that, let's say, the superior people have. So those are called lesser mortals. Again, comparing the quality of the standard of living, right? So that is when we use lesser, a very limited use. Correct, Sonali, correct. So here our answer is less. Any query in this question, ask me. Any query, ask me. If you do not have a query, then you can just go and press the like button. Meanwhile, the others can ask me, right? So this is our CAT 2022 comprehensive program, right? Here you get so many live sessions, right? You get a lot of topic tests, okay, a lot of material for practice. We also give you 4 books along with the practice material. So many mock tests for all the various MBA exams. That's why I say that it's a comprehensive program, not just a CAT program, right? And you have recorded sessions even for your stage 2, 5 live, 10 recorded sessions for your stage 2 as well, GDPI, WAT, all those stages, right? So if you wish to join, then I think now is the perfect time because you do require these many months to prepare for CAT, right? And yes, this is our Telegram channel that I was talking about. So here I'll share those pages, the singular plural wala pages, right? You can also follow us on our social media handles, Facebook, Instagram. We create a lot of memes also there, right? And yes, this was about today's session. Welcome, welcome Kashish, Kinjal, welcome the Wish Sailor. Phrasal verbs, all right, Sanskriti noted. Thank you, Ashish. Thank you all of you for attending. I'll see you again tomorrow at 12, right? Welcome, Prem. Bye. Welcome, all of you. Great, Yogesh. I'm so happy that you can get these topics now. Welcome, welcome. Tomorrow at 12 p.m., the way you've joined today's session, acha, you're talking about the session, the YouTube session, then you know how to join. For enrolling with us, if you're asking about that, then you can just call up this number. Okay, this number that is given here. Just call this up and you'll get a response. Right? Welcome, Satish. Welcome, Shailesh. Bye bye.